If you're going to wake me up in the middle of the night and attempt to engage me in some sort of foreign diplomatic process, then let's get to the point. The point is a few things. First of all, my understanding is that in less than the last 2 years, there was a summit wherein Saudi Arabia led a group of countries that included the United Arab Emirates in coming up with more than $7 billion that was supposed to be assistance to Syria and assistance to help with humanitarian issues for the people of Syria in consideration of what is going on at this time. Now, my understanding at the time is that it was very important that this be an effort by Arab countries for Syria specifically, and that part of what was to happen is that Turkey was to provide an important role in assuring to the distribution and other matters related to this aid. However, there has also been a very significant concern regarding immigration or the movements of people from Syria to Turkey, and not just to Turkey, but through Turkey into Europe. My understanding is that Turkey had been trying for a very long time to have acknowledgement of its intent to be a member of the European Union. And a serious concern exists now at this time regarding the fact that Turkey is repeatedly capitulated as being in a position where it is supposed to attend to problems in the Middle East, including problems involving Arab countries, as opposed to being able to be acknowledged as a European country and be able to participate with its unique economy and its unique capacities in other affairs related to Europe outside of this positioning as somehow a kind of, if you will, cudgeon in terms of addressing matters related to external interference in matters that are ongoing in the Middle East. This is a very serious concern I have because there has been no follow up, so far as I know, on what has happened with these offers of assistance, while the news, at least available in the United States, is that the situation in Syria continues to perpetuate with significant violence and with no real efforts that I have understood have occurred to de escalate the violence and allow for some sort of reconstruction. There are still also long-standing concerns that I understand were a part of the initial unrest that escalated regarding the role of both Russia and Iran in interfering in the domestic affairs in Syria that have not been attended to, while there are these other factors ostensibly connected to humanitarian assistance for the Syrian people. $7 billion is a lot of money to have offered and to have no follow up on, especially why we here in the United States are consistently being exposed to efforts to try to characterize what's going on in the United States, specifically in Syria, as somehow being a situation of such a dire concern that it compels a maintenance of continued U.S. military presence, specifically regarding the role of providing American assistance through Al-Tanf. There are other matters related specifically to the relationship between Al-Tanf and the conflict in Syria that have material relevance for the United States. So the status of ongoing efforts by Arab countries to provide humanitarian assistance through some other model are very important when it comes to trying to find a way to balance all of the interest involved. I say this because it's a very important time frame for us to be dealing with these matters. There are still the ongoing concerns regarding illicit activities that are also connected to smuggling of illicit weapons, up to and including chemical weapons, and up to and including depleted uranium weapons. We're still in a matter of trying to address outstanding claims about the use of these kinds of weapons, specifically in Syria, but not exclusively in Syria. So if you're going to try in whatever manner to be connected to unverified systematologies that are attempting to elicit my contribution, then this would be where the starting point would be. It's a very important matter that has multiple interests and multiple possibilities, but it cannot be done under some other pretense, and it's certainly not meant for abstraction without any authentication or verification. That also means attending to whatever the mitigating circumstances are that might occlude an understanding of any potential for a good faith engagement or further continuance of engagement based upon taking responsibility for the potential impugnment of the characters of the people involved based on their associations with people of questionable repute within the United States. I hope that you have a very meaningful conference and that once we've attended to these material realities concerning the situation in Syria and the relationships you might have had with the outstanding concerns regarding that humanitarian assistance, then we can get to the other side, which is an understanding that I also would like to talk about concerns I have about the intercession of the United Arab Emirates in regards to events in Afghanistan, specifically connected to the medical technology and nanotechnology sector. Perhaps after there's some resolution of those other outstanding issues, we can have a more meaningful and forthright conversation about those affairs. It's been far too long in the coming, so let's get to that as soon as possible.